You didn't agree to this, you didn't sign anything. You just opened an app to connect, to pass the time, to scroll. And while you looked at photos, videos, and fleeting updates, something else was quietly learning how you think, how you feel, and how you react. Not to understand you, not to entertain you, but to shape you, to predict your choices and influence your habits, all without asking for permission. Welcome to Tech Burst. Like and subscribe. Social media arrived quietly, promising connection in a world that often feels disconnected. It offered a stage where voices that once felt unheard could suddenly be seen, heard, and recognized. Every notification, every like, every comment seemed innocent, even encouraging. You didn't question it because it felt empowering. Beneath the glow of positivity, a system was silently observing, learning what drew your attention. The most powerful systems rarely announce themselves. They invite, then observe. Then came the rewards: likes, comments, notifications arriving seconds after posting. They felt like recognition, proof that someone, somewhere, noticed you. Your brain reacted instinctively, chemical responses reinforcing behavior. Happiness was subtle, but addictive. You didn't realize it yet, but the system was learning what made you stay, what made you return. Reinforcement is how habits quietly begin. Every pause, every scroll, every lingering glance was being recorded. You thought you were consuming content, but you were generating data. Each action, no matter how small, taught the system about your attention, your preference, your curiosity. Nothing was too trivial. The system noticed it all. And this knowledge slowly shaped what would appear next. Observation always precedes influence. A digital reflection of you began to form. Not your personality, but your patterns. What held your gaze? What made you click? What made you linger? It didn't need to understand you. It only needed to predict your reactions. And prediction gave control. Prediction is more powerful than persuasion. Content wasn't shown randomly. It was tested, measured, and optimized for reaction. Emotion, curiosity, anger, whatever kept you engaged survived. Neutral content faded. The feed was no longer about choice. It was about retention. Slowly, your habits were being molded. Neutrality disappears in a system built for attention. You reacted, the system responded, and the loop continued. Faster, tighter, more personalized each time. It didn't feel controlling, it felt familiar. Repetition created comfort, and comfort masked manipulation. You thought you were choosing, but choices were already guided. Loops trap attention without you noticing. You believed you were in control. Every click felt like a decision, but the options you saw were curated to guide you subtly. Freedom existed only within boundaries. The illusion of choice made the influence invisible. Even limited freedom feels like freedom. Your habits formed without instruction. Checking your phone became automatic. Repetition turned into instinct, emotion into routine. Training didn't need force. It only needed subtle guidance repeated over time. You acted voluntarily, but were guided imperceptibly. The most effective training feels voluntary. Deep focus became uncomfortable. Quick reactions became natural. Your brain adapted to speed and fragmentation. Longer thought, silence, reflection, they felt heavy. Instant feedback reshaped perception. Slowly, your attention rewired itself to the rhythm of the feed. The mind adapts to its environment. Calm content faded unnoticed. Strong emotions, anger, fear, excitement were amplified and rewarded. Intensity became currency, not truth. The system didn't care about accuracy, only about what kept you engaged. Your emotional reactions were optimized for retention, subtly trained over time. Effectiveness replaced accuracy. Extreme reactions became normal. Endless scrolling felt routine. Reacting without thinking became instinctive. What once felt overwhelming now felt ordinary. Patterns became invisible because they were everywhere. Normalization completed the quiet shaping of behavior. When the unusual becomes ordinary, control is complete. You never signed consent, you never gave permission, yet you participated. Convenience replaced consent. Silence became agreement. The system trained without asking, without announcing, without needing approval. The quietest control is often the most effective. One day, it hits you. Your habits don't feel like your own. Reaching for your phone feels automatic. Reacting before thinking feels normal. You notice the subtle pull, the patterns embedded in your routine. Awareness sparks, but the changes are already in place. Awareness interrupts, but doesn't erase, patterns. Training can be reversed, but only with intention. Awareness alone is not enough. Deliberate action is required. Control returns slowly, step by step, decision by decision. Friction becomes the tool to regain autonomy. The system resists, but consciousness can push back. Friction creates freedom. Technology itself is neutral. Its power comes from how it interacts with human behavior. Awareness is the first step to reclaiming control. Habits can be reshaped. Decisions can be deliberate. The future depends on noticing the training before it trains you completely. If this story felt familiar, take a moment before your next scroll. Awareness is the first step. For more documentaries exploring technology, behavior, and the unseen forces shaping our lives, subscribe and stay curious.